When I first got to Sesame Street, I wanted to know what Maria was like. How should she act? How should she talk? The producers kept insisting that I simply be myself. That was the reason they had hired me. That they had hired me because of who I was. That they believed the only way to reach certain Hispanic children in the inner city was to present them with someone that they could believe in. I don't think I appreciated their idea that much in that moment as much as I did later. I continued to audition for other projects in show business and hated the parts available to me. The parts were of maids, abused women, prostitutes. Casting directors insisted that I perform with an accent. Now, there's no shame in playing any of those parts or having an accent. They just weren't me. My Anglo friends who were leading the same exact kind of life that I was went up for roles of young women who were like them. As a Latina performer, I had to change myself. The story, this idea, is told very clearly from the African American point of view in the movie Hollywood Shuffle. If you ever are interested in learning more about this, it's a great movie, very entertaining, and it talks about how African American actors had to go and learn jive talk or something in order to go up for roles, even though that wasn't them, and those were the only roles available. So obviously I started getting less and less interested in auditioning for parts, and Sesame Street became very, very attractive to me. Because of course, any sane person would weigh, be a fake, be real, be a fake, be real. Well, obviously I went with the people who wanted me to be real. They also wanted me to grow and change the way real people do. I started out playing a teenager. Then I was a hippie, and that was reflected in the show. When feminism and women's rights became an issue, Maria got a job in the fix-it shop and demanded to be part owner shortly after that. I was also a construction worker for a while. I never accepted flowers from Oscar the Grouch. When I got married in reality and pregnant, the producers thought that birth would be a compelling and interesting topic for our audience. After all, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds are always having to get used to the idea of having a new baby brother or sister coming into the family. By that time, I was already a writer and enjoyed the challenge of taking an emotion-packed event like childbirth and breaking it down into something a 4-year-old could understand, and something that had just happened to me. So finally, we had a whole Hispanic family on Sesame Street, together with a baby girl, Gabriela, who was my real daughter, Gabriela. And we became, to the Spanish audience, what Susan and Gordon and Miles were to the African American audience, a real family. So real, in fact, that many people think that Luis and I are really married. How many of you think that Luis and I are really married? There you go. There's always one or two. Well, you're not alone. Emilio Delgado, who plays Luis, and I were traveling somewhere performing in the middle of the country, and we were stopped by a woman who was so happy to see us, and she said, "Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to meet you. I think it's so wonderful that my children should see real love on television." That they should see real sentiment, that they should see people clearly fall in love, and not that they don't have to see love the Hollywood style. And they didn't see Maria all of a sudden take her glasses off and let her hair down, and all of a sudden he sees value in her or interest in her. But that my children should see real love. And she was so sincere that Emilio and I looked at each other and decided that we really should tell her the truth. We told her that we weren't really married, at which point she sucked in her breath and said, "Well, as long as you really love each other."